Now we are towards the end of the advanced Excel program, and before we conclude this, I would like to throw some light on the form controls in Excel. Now here, with the help of the form controls, I've created a loan application wherein we have some controls over here, a bar over here that can help us determine or select the loan amount. Now, depending on whatever I select over here, you can see that the loan amount over here will change. For example, I change till here and we see the loan amount to 6,504. Moving on, I take it to the max, and the max available loan amount is 30,000. Now, loan period is of 2 years. Well, in case if I'm not happy with 2 years, maybe that's too short time for me to pay back, then I would want to increase it. I click on this. This is a spinner. And I click on this and increase it to the duration I require. Moving on, just like I can select the loan amount range, I can also select the interest rate. Here we have the interest rate rounded up. So the max interest rate that I can go for is 15%. That's ridiculously high, but still nevertheless. That's quite high, but depending on the regions, that might still be a norm. For now, let me assume the interest rate to be at around 5%, or let's say 6%. Now, payment option here, I select monthly or bi-monthly, quarterly. Now, when I say bi-monthly, that means I'll be paying once every 2 months. So here, as of now, it's selected to bi-monthly. Now, if I'm selecting bi-monthly, that means once in 2 months. That means in a year, I would pay 6 installments. So number of installments has automatically been taken care of. Now, if I select quarterly, that means once in 3 months or 4 times in a year. So I click on this quarterly. You can see quarterly selected and 4 automatically populating here. It's quite an automated one. Now, different states have different taxes as well. Now, we are assuming certain tax rates. Now, that's fictitious over here. So let's say we are at California and the charges or the state charges is 1.5% on the loan amount. Now let's say if it was Florida. For Florida, it's 0.5%. The state charges on the loan amount, and we can see the charges on loan over here, the amount, $150. Now what if I select, let's say, New York? So here we have New York. I click on this, and now instead of 150, it turns out to be 375. That's 1.25% of the loan amount. So the concept of this charges on loan is the moment you pay your first installment, there is a fixed equated installment calculated. These charges would be added up to your first installment. It's a one-time charge. That's charges towards the state, and they will be added into your first bill amount. And later on, from next installment onwards or the next payment onwards, you'll be paying a flat amount of this much that we see. Now, when I'm going for quarterly payment for a time span of 5 years, that means I'll be paying in total 20 installments. So effectively, we have calculated this, and it's quite a robust one. And let us try this out all by ourselves. I'll build one from scratch for you. But let me tell you that this is all to do with the form controls. This helps you make it look much more convenient here. How did we get these form controls? Well, it is available on the developer menu or the developer tab. Well, in case if you do not see this, we can get this. All you need to do is click on File menu, go to More, click Options. Now under Options, in this window on the left, click on Customize ribbon. Now here on the right side, Main tabs, the Developer tab must be checked. If it is not checked, please put a check mark here and then click OK. And now you will find this Developer tab. Now through this, you can also access macros and also the form controls here under the controls section. The form controls that we are looking for is under the Insert tab over here, or the Insert option, or the Insert icon. And here we have some form controls and also the ActiveX controls. Now, when we say ActiveX controls, these are best used with macros. Okay, for now, we are not focusing on macros. We are trying to keep it simple. And we'll be working with some of these common form controls here. Okay, so let's begin with this. I'll open a new file. I'll open a new file. I'll call it loan application. Let's make this look a bit big. Now I need loan amount, and then we need loan period. Next we need interest rate. Now that's the annual interest rate, so let's make it easy. Annual interest rate. Next I need payment options. Now under payment options, we'll have some radio buttons, so we'll leave some space for that. Next we need a list of states. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 radio buttons and then a space, and then I have state. So with these as the headings, let us proceed. Let me expand this column. Now here I would like to place the first scroll bar. So I click on developer, insert. Now we have something called as a scroll bar here. If I click on this, if I select something like this, it's a vertical scroll bar. But I need a horizontal one, so let's click here. And here we have the range. Let me adjust the width and the length. All right, now that's quite close to the size or the height of the rows, so that should be good. Now I need to give a limit to this, so I right click on this, click on format controls. Now minimum value, in case whoever wants to take a loan, the lowest amount would be $100 and maximum would be, let's say, it takes a maximum of $30,000 here. But what if I put maximum at $50,000? And page change at 10, that means every time I click somewhere between the bar, it will increase by 10. But I don't want it to increase by 10, but rather increase by 1,000. Cell linkage. Now whatever you select, the value should be visible somewhere, right? So I click on this cell linkage. I'll select, okay, I'll have all my cell linkings in column G to maintain uniformity. I click here. Now we do have some more tabs here. That's the size, and see, scroll value must be between 0 and 30,000. So it does not allow any value beyond 30,000. So let's change this to 30,000, and we'll still keep the minimum value at 100. That's absolutely fine. Now moving on, we have some more tabs over here like size, protection, properties, whether you want to move it but don't size, or move the control but do not want to size with cells, or don't move or size with cells. That means as the cells shrink or expand, automatically adjust the size of these controls. Well, we are allowing it to move but not change its size. Alternate text, well, in case if you want to. Generally we don't use these. I mean, the need does not arise for us to come back over here and make the changes unless in certain exception situations. So this is the area where we mostly focus on the control part. Once we have defined the upper limit, lower limit, and the cell linkage, we click OK, and you see the minimum value is 100. If I click aside, this bar is now active. Every time I click, you see it just increments by 1. But if I click anywhere like this, it increments by 1,000. Right? So each click on the upper and lower part of this bar will only increment by 1. And if you click anywhere in the middle, it will increase or decrease by 1,000. Well, you can also freely drag and drop this